So inside the real estate industry, most agents obviously work with their clients. But what if you want something different? What if you want to be in a position where maybe you're the one generating the leads? Or you're just like what I like to call a connector. You're simply connecting a client who has a need to someone who is an agent who can help them close that deal. And if you do that consistently enough, maybe you're in a position where you can actually be the agent making six figures while not having to work directly with clients. This is the big mission that I'm on heading into 2024. And while I have done this to an extent, I have never gone that crazy. So a big thing, especially as we head into 2024, is like, how can I make this a reality? How can I do this to actually, like, I'm kind of like you're kind of really becoming a lead gen company. But what if you still picked and chose like certain things, or maybe you're just doing listings or whatever it ends up being, and you got to choose how little you worked with clients. Now, it doesn't mean you don't like your clients and friends and family and things like that. But for some of us in this industry, you kind of maybe want a little bit more freedom. Or maybe you're doing this as an agent because you want to buy rental properties like I do, or stuff like that. Or maybe you like to throw markers like I do as well. And yeah, so that works good too. This is going to go through everything I'm going through in my head to how this can happen, right? Some of it is going full referral and only doing that. I met an agent in LA who is doing over six figures a year, about at least actually well into six figures, so like about over 200,000 a year gross in his business by just referring out clients every single year. Now I imagine he's commanding a very healthy referral split, but he refers out anywhere between 80 to 100 deals a year in Los Angeles, and that's just what he does. Like, he does listings here and there, but majority of his clients he is referring out. Now, I don't know the full details of his expenses in his business, and let's not forget taxes, but at the same time, as you can imagine even just making 90 grand while never having to close a single client. How much more time in your life could you have? So I'm gonna be writing down, going through everything that I've learned on this journey as I'm trying to figure out how I can do this. Why? Because I get to share it with you, and I get to bring value to you throughout this journey. So obviously, we get started. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Every single week we drop this episode, or maybe if you're on iTunes or another audio platform, you leave a comment, because I love to hear information from you to find out what content I need to do next. I've been lucky enough to meet a lot of people in this industry, and it's one of the few things I am good at is meeting people, and I get to share information with you. So if you have something you want to learn about or something that maybe I can share, I will find it for you, and I will also give you the short source. Why? Because I only share, I'm not original. Like, the reality is most people on YouTube and social media are not original. They're just getting it from somewhere else. I will share that with you. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so the first things first, obviously when it comes to being an agent, we run into situations where first, obviously, you gotta be closing good deals yourself, because if you don't have the money, it is what it is. But let's say that you didn't wanna work with any clients and you wanted to refer things out. What can you do? You could obviously refer them out completely. You could start a real estate team. But let's run through that right now. So obviously, the first thing you could do when it comes to generating, let's say you wanna make six figures. Let's say you just wanna make, we'll keep it simple. Let's say you just want to make, we'll say six figures. And I don't have my calculator on me, so my marine math is going to be going bubble in my head, so you're going to have to work through with that. But oh, and if you're on iTunes or whatever, you're gonna listen along, but feel free to go on YouTube, because I'm actually writing on a whiteboard as we go through these things. So obviously you have referrals only, and I probably didn't spell right. And if I don't spell any of these words right, let me know in the comments below how bad I am at spelling, because I love to hear it. I love to tell you how bad I am at spelling. The good thing is I can actually make money. So, I pick and choose, God only gives us certain gifts, and I don't know if spelling was one of them for me, but yeah, referrals only. So meaning you are only referring out deals to get this 100 grand per year. Now I will tell you, obviously, let's assume you're having to pay like 15% in taxes after tax breaks. I'm not a tax professional, not a lawyer, but let's just say you're gonna pay 15% in taxes. So all these numbers will be factored out. We're moving that 15%. So referrals only. But what if you're like, Cameron, I wanna take all my listings, but let's say you are in a position to where, like, I don't wanna, I just wanna refer out buyer clients, all right? So you have referrals only, but maybe you wanna be in a position to wanna bring an agent on your team. So let's single agent team, all right? Meaning you bring on one agent to close majority of these deals. Now, obviously, that is achievable. Personally, I don't think you need more than one agent. Now, I will tell you, when it comes to bringing on an agent, that's a whole nother stress you're gonna have to go through, but that's okay. So, single agent team, and then we have solo. For some reason, this industry's favorite thing is like, let's go solo. I don't even know you can read this right now. Can you actually see that, guys? I think so. It's not the best, but that's okay. We're gonna work with it. All right, so we got solo, all right? Solo. Now, Obviously, we're doing referral only. One thing I will tell you is this. Obviously, the standard in the industry is 25%. I will also tell you, I have no issue getting agents to help me at 35%. Now that might seem crazy to a lot of you, but the reality is like I'm working for a lot of these leads. I have YouTube channels that generate buyer leads and I refer them out. So when you're in a position to you do that and you are actively working for those leads, I have no issue commanding 35% regardless of the price point. Because the reality is that's what I command. Now I'm also licensed in 2 different states. So I will tell you, I did this and I have a commission split off 35%. Okay? Now I will tell you, for work leads, if it's a standard lead, I will do 25%. Or if it's a problem child. Because the reality is, let's be honest, if you got a lead that's maybe gonna be a little bit of a problem child, I will not take more money from that agent. Because if I know that that client's gonna be a lot of work, that agent's gonna deserve more of the money, all right? So the reality is that's what we're gonna do. Now, on a single agent team, this can go a lot of different ways. The reality is the cool thing with a lot of newer brokers, you don't have to be a broker to start a team. You can just be an agent. Like where I'm at with EXP, we can easily do that. And actually, believe it or not, this method right here, I teach you inside of our course, because obviously our community is a target agent community, and where no matter where you're watching or listening to, down in the description is going to be a link to our website where you can join that course in that community where I teach you exactly on that blueprint how I create a business to where I'm helping my clients, but I actually am handing off showings to showing agents or using other tools to where they understand everything's going from step A to Z, and I'm really not showing them many homes until we get about to get under contract, and then I will look at the homes. And people might think that's crazy, but I've done it multiple times, and I can tell you I have had successful clients and happy clients every single time. And the only time there were issues, it's not even with the process, it's just with the market itself. So if you are interested in joining a community to do things like this, to where, you know what, Cameron, I don't want to be showing homes at 65, or you want to figure out how you use VAs and tools to leverage your business, the Target Agent Blueprint is for you. It is down in the description below. Or don't forget, if you are looking to switch brokerages, we have a link down below to schedule a Zoom call with me to talk about what that option is, or maybe you want to learn more about the blueprint in detail. That link works just the same, and I will talk, we can sit down and have that conversation. Because everyone who joins us at EXP obviously gets it for free. And the reality is the reason I did that, and I'll be honest with you, it actually costs me money every single month for every agent who gets it free. And I am willing to pay that money because I believe so much in the product. So don't think that I'm just getting away scot-free by people joining me at EXP. It actually costs me money to run that course for free to other agents. And I'm okay with that. Why? Because I believe in it and I know the value that I put into it, and I promise you, you will not regret it. So referrals only, obviously 35%. Single agent team, I will tell you that I like to do 25% split to the agent. So a typical split that I like to do on teams when it comes to buyer leads that I am generating, or even listings if I'm actively on them, will be 25% to the agent. And that means I will take 75% to the team. Now keep in mind, in this situation, you are still paying a broker split. Now, you potentially, if you're doing referrals only, you could be under the referral division at EXP, will, like for example, that will let you be referral only. You don't pay MLS fees, but you will pay 20% in order to have a cap with EXP. So obviously, if you're under this standard as an agent plan, you are closing a couple deals a year, which I think might work out better financially for you unless you're doing a lot of leads as a marketing company. This system's probably gonna be the best for you. The problem is you are gonna be managing agents, and we all know they're like children. So you are gonna be in a situation you're gonna have to be managing a child, trying to make sure that you're, like, you know, you do the best work. Can you make sure that they do the best work? But it does lead the best, personally, it is the best ecosystem for making sure deals get done in your main city. But the cool thing about the referrals only is you can do what I call a hybrid option between these two, which is honestly what I think I recommend for most agents, even myself, because it gives you a situation where you're primarily referral, but in your primary market area, you are getting a team split. And don't forget, when that agent closes deals, you would be getting 25% of those deals, and this marker is dying. So we're gonna switch to blue. Now, obviously a solo, let's say we'll use my brokers at EXP for example, you would be getting 80% up to the split of 16 on those deals. So keep that in mind. Now we're gonna be pulling up a calculator here because I do not have my phone on me, because I'm smart and decided to update it before I did this video, because I'm a genius. Now, so let's say we have 100,000, right? So 100,000, doing this referral only. So for the sake of this, let's say you have no problem child. You are doing 35% only, you're at EXP, and let's say you're not in the referral division, so you're getting 100% of that referral minus some basic transaction fees that are going to happen. So in order to get that amount, you will need to close. So the average deal in the United States closed, let's say it's about $7,800 that agent is getting. Now this could be a lot higher in other markets. I understand. We're going simple here. We're going simple. The average house is $400,000 in the United States. Let's say the average closing percentage is 2.5%. And after broker split, let's say you're getting $8,000 for that closing for that agent on average. So if you're getting 35% of that means that's $2,800 per closing. Now remember, our goal is 100K. That's our goal. Now, when you take that 2,800, obviously to get that 100,000, you are going to need 36 closings. But let's not forget that we're gonna assume you have 15% extra in taxes. So let's say 115,000 is what you need to bring in, approximately divided by 2,800. And that's 41 transactions. So you need to do 41. By the way, you probably might hear my son in the background, so deal with it. He woke up. So we're gonna work through this. Now, that's assuming you have 41, so you need 41 referrals out that closed. Seems like a big number, and realize we'll talk about some methods that you could do to get that number, and you might come from multiple different sources, but it is completely possible. Man, this is actually realizing I might go to this model already. Now, how many would you need under this model? So let's say the average is at $8 grand, right? Because don't forget, you and your person are both taking that split. So here in Orlando, Florida, so that 400,000 times 2.5% on average, that's 10,000. Now, we have to times it by 75% for my brokerage, that's 7,500, and then my broker takes 20% off that, which means I get $6,000 from that closing. My agent gets the other one. But remember, I didn't do anything on this deal, the agent did for this, but we're assuming this is buyer transactions. Most of these things are gonna be buyers, let's be honest. If they're listings, you probably can just take it yourself. But 6,000, all right? Now, how much deals would you need to do that, all right? So let's go back and go to 115,000 divided by 6,000. Now, under this model, it's 19.16666, we'll say 20. So you need 20 transactions to get that same 100K. A lot better, right? So you can see the con of this referral only is you need a lot more transactions. Having a single agent team that you're just running the show, the cool thing is you have 20 and you still didn't do any of the work. So this still could be a beneficial model in my opinion. Now, obviously being solo, to do that same 100K, obviously we're gonna assume it's 8,000. So that same 115 divided by 8,000. Now for this one, we're gonna round up here. You only need 15 transactions. 15 transactions under solo. As you can see, it's only like 5 transactions less than this. And I can promise you, if you have all that time back in your life, do those 5 transactions really matter? Maybe in the beginning, but eventually it's not a big jump to get an extra 5 transactions. Like whatever marketing method you're doing that's working, you probably just need to do it more. And that's the reality with it. Now, pros with referrals, right? Pro, it's quick, right? The pro is that it is quick. I'm not gonna write these all down. The pro is that they're quick and it's simple. You're connecting people, you're making it happen. Now, team agent, you're having to manage an agent. So even though the agent's closing the deals, you're still having a weekly meeting, you're still having to stay on top of them. You might deal with clients not being happy with the agent, then you might have to take them back underneath you. All of these are real scenarios that do happen. So you need to be aware of that. Solo agent, it's just you, man. Go close those deals, all right? Reality, it's the same pros that you probably already understand being a solo agent. Referral only, obviously, you are out of the transaction. You are simply a connector. That is what you do. And that is okay. That is a good thing. The reality is hey, that's just what you do, all right? Downfall, cons and referral. One, you need twice as many deals to get that same 100K. Also, depending what brokerage you're at, if they don't take anything from your referrals, you're not capping. You're not getting the benefits of the stock program and all these things, right? So that is one con to referral, unless like EXP, you're part of the referral division and then you still get that benefit. But then you're gonna need a lot more deals to get that 100K. That is a big, big con, because then this number, they're taking 20% of that, all right? Now you could obviously do higher than 35%. You could find an agent, if you are closing that many deals in a market, like if an agent came to me and said, hey man, I got 41 deals in your market I'm gonna give you, but I'm gonna want half of the commission. Especially as a newer agent, I'd be like, sign me up, man, sign me up. Why? Because that's a lot of deals. And guess what? This is also a con to you. That agent's gonna get those clients. You do not keep them. Where under this model, those clients are team leads. They are team clients. So if they do a transaction in the future, they are yours to work. That is one major, major con of the referral only, is you're gonna have to come up with these 41 deals year over year over year. That can be a grind depending on what lead sources you're doing. Now, solo team, obviously, we already talked about that. The big pro is that it's like being a solo agent, but you're not having to work the deals, but you are having to deal with the headaches. So understand that. And you have to probably pay for the transaction coordinator and the marketing. So these deals, personally, I imagine you might have to do an extra 10 deals just to cover the marketing, depending with their listings or what's going on. So understand that. Don't forget, you can also do better methods where you aren't doing 25% to the agent, maybe you're doing 10%, but you're paying per door that the agent shows for homes. Like, there's a lot of different ways to toss up that model to make this more profitable, but understand that. Now, what lead sources do I know to get you? Let's say, you want to start generating leads for those first two methods. What can you do? Well, there's a couple things that you can do. I'm only going to talk about what I've done and what I personally had conversation recently with agents who are doing this. So, obviously, you have Facebook leads. Problem with Facebook leads is you're probably gonna have to, if you're not wanting to do them yourself, they are extremely hard to work, and you're gonna need a lot of them to get those 41, a lot. And you're probably gonna need an ISA. So maybe not the best, especially if you're not good running them. There's a lot of companies out there that'll be like, we'll run Facebook ads for you. Most of them are junk. I paid for them, promise you. One of my favorite, YouTube. This is a way I have seen a lot of agents do this method. Is when you have a really successful YouTube channel, you can easily bring in those 41 deals per year. But honestly, most of those agents who do the referral only method end up doing the solo agent or small team method. One of the biggest ones I know that I had talked with recently over in Tampa, man, I cannot think of his name off the top of my head, but if you look up living in Tampa, you will find him, and he's one of the biggest. He runs a system to where he just took his 4th vacation last month with his family, insane. And he only has 2 agents on his team. Anything outside an immediate market, he refers out. Everything inside that market, his team runs. And he runs that same split that I talked about. One's a showing agent, one's his main agent that's running most of the deals, with a showing agent supporting on showings. It is an amazing model, and I promise you that's probably the one I prefer for most agents if you're focusing all the leads on a specific market. Of course, now this referral thing, if you're like big into investing, maybe the referrals make sense because you don't want regular clients, you're looking for like investors with listings and stuff like that. But obviously, YouTube is one of the best that if you're not afraid to get on camera, because those leads do build fast. Now, another one, obviously Google pay-per-click. Same as Facebook, I think a little bit better, but not much better. The issue is you still have to work a lot of these leads, and they're probably like a 6 to 12 month lead time. Like, it takes a long time to convert these leads. So understand, again, you're spending advertising money to get that, so your numbers are gonna be low. You're gonna need more closed deals in that 41. As you can see, referral only, not the best system, because you start to realize how many more deals you have to do to get there. Starting a team sometimes starts to be more beneficial when you really run the numbers. But Google pay-per-click works great. Obviously, cold calling. Now, obviously, I've seen people who, if you don't understand cold calling, it might not make sense to start it. You have to do it first, and then you can hire people. Now, obviously, the cool thing about also being in the investing world is you start to realize that you can hire VAs for cold calling, and that works. The downfall is, 1, managing cold callers is a pain in the butt if you don't understand it. 2, even if you hire them out, you're still working the leads yourself. Now, you can refer those out. Most likely, I don't recommend this method unless you also are looking for investments. Now, if you're looking for investments, this can be great, especially when you get to hiring VA cold callers to get rid of the dirty work and you're just meeting the meetings. Because even if you're not taking the meetings, you probably can find investors to create a list who will take that for you and work it and then give you the money for that. And then if the person ends up being a regular deal, then you refer it out to another agent to get that same method. And the cool thing is sometimes you'll find even wholesale deals doing this, and then you don't have to pay a brokerage at all. You're getting that in-between fee. Now, some states wholesaling might not be allowed. I'm not a lawyer. make sure you follow your guidelines and be a good agent with a fiduciary responsibility. Don't be a turd. Now, obviously, there could be other ways about this. You could have a large social media. Maybe you just have a large social media, or about to Facebook. I've heard this recently. There is an agent, Facebook groups. There is an agent who creates Facebook groups outside of every military base in the United States. And she builds them up to the point where they get so massive that she contracts out one agent per area, per group. And she is massively closing deals using Facebook groups. One of my most favorite methods, and you can get a free book as well, or if you want a copy for free, go ahead and send me an email, or you can go ahead and schedule a Zoom call down below, we can talk about it. But it's clients and community. They have an amazing $1 million group method, and all she does is create Facebook groups outside military bases, signs a recurring referral agreement to where, and they set up a number and all that stuff so she can track how many leads come from that group, and she's getting like 30 to 50% commission off those groups, and they are massive. She's making a lot of money doing that. So Facebook groups can be a great method where you're not paying the advertising money. I will tell you, sometimes you do need to advertise to build the groups, especially in the beginning. So there might be some advertising money involved, but this could be a great method, and made me realize that maybe I might start one of these for Orlando, man. See, we're learning together. This is fun. All right. These are some of the big ways I have found to do this method. Obviously, there are so many ways to market. There are so many ways to get your name out there, and they all work. But the issue with those methods, as you can see, is like when you have to get 41 deals to get that same 101K, even at 35%, it can be a lot of work, and you start to really have to think about which way do you want to generate business, how involved do you want to be, and how taken back do you want to be? Because the reality is like whatever you do has to be repeatable year over year over year. And as we all know in this industry, relationships are everything. So I will tell you, if you do referral only, you might be in a position to where you don't necessarily get the best relationship with the clients. Some of them want to work only with you when you finally convince them to work with someone. Even if you have a team, it can be an issue. So understand there are always pros and cons to every single side of this. But also, by the way, speaking of any of these methods, I promise you there's a way that you can hire a virtual assistant to do it for you. And the great thing is like you don't have to pay $4,000 for a company to hire it for you if you don't have that kind of money. Down in the description of wherever you're watching or listening to this, there is a free VA course I created. I held nothing back. It is exactly what I have done in the past to hire my own VA. Now, is it great to hire a company to do it for you? Absolutely. But the reality is if you don't have the money, or you want to learn just the process of how to hire, because even if you pay a company, you still need to understand what they do to go through the hiring process, and you still are going to be doing the actual hiring. So understand that. Down in the description, it's a free how to hire a VA course in the Philippines, completely held nothing back. And that course is always free. So you can go ahead and click that link, take that value, or don't forget, you can always join the Target Agent community. That link is always down in the description wherever you're watching or listening this to. Go ahead and give us a like, subscribe. If you have any questions on any of these, I want you to know in the comments below what your favorite method is, or also let me know what your favorite method is. Go ahead and hit A or B. A, do you want to do what you think going referral only is better? Or B, do you think having a single team with only 1 or 2 agents is the best way to go after seeing these numbers? I would love to know. And I hope you got value in this video, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.